How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman. And the topic for this particular broadcast is one word. And this one word, we, if you're in technology, need to ban. Yes, ban. Not use it ever again. And that word, which is very common in the technology world, is the word user. U-S-E-R, user. Now, I'm going to give you a phrase or an explanation of why, which is a bit uncomfortable when you hear it, but it's got an incredible amount of truth in it. And then we'll discuss it a little bit more. What is the analogy, or what is the example, or what is the phrase or understanding I'm going to give you? Well, let's take a look at that word for a moment. There are two professions, and I'm using that word profession very loosely, that use the term user to talk about who pays the bills. One is the illicit drug trade, and the other is IT, information technology. And the parallels are frighteningly, astoundingly similar. Number one, we get them hooked. Number two, we charge them more money. For number three, less product. That term sticks in people's minds, technology people, as a dependency. The, quote, user is dependent upon me. That is a mindset that has to be changed, and it begins with getting rid of the word. Let's take a look at our friends at the Walt Disney Company for just a moment. They call the people that pay their bills at the theme parks cast members? No. That's the employees, in quotes. They call you and I guests. I just gave you the word as a substitute for users. They're guests. Now, I also said what they call their employees is cast members. What is the image that is in cast members, employees' minds? Entertaining people, not with a dependency, but bringing joy. And that is in people's minds. It's a mindset. And if the term user is in your mind, even though it's in the back of your mind, so to speak, that's what you're going to be sort of thinking about. Well, they have to use this because they're dependent upon me. Versus cast members and what? Guests. The word guest says something very unique. It is my obligation, it is my pleasure to serve the public, meaning the guests. We in technology need to recognize this. That term is dangerous, it is insulting, and it really isn't the way we in technology should react with our stakeholders. That's the term that we use, stakeholders. Think about the stakeholder holding a check in front of you and saying, I'll be more than happy to pay you when I see something that satisfies my needs. Not the other way around, which is, here you go. You don't like it? It's too bad. So let's begin this transition from that terrible word, users, to the word stakeholder, not only for, quote, them, unquote, but for us, getting our mindset in a position to serve our stakeholders, and as I like to say, get us a seat at the big person's decision-making table because we're treating them the way they should be treating. Give it a go. Think about it. It's going to have to be deliberate because the natural tendency is to use the you word. And as I said, in our organization, we don't use it. We are not going to use it. And we try desperately to think about this every day. Hopefully you'll start thinking about this too.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk. Be sure to join your host, Sam Holcman, again for another edition of our program. We'll have more real topics of discussion then.